My First Bible presents Ruth and Naomi. In the days when the judges ruled, there was a time when people starved to death. A man from Bethlehem of Judea, named Elimelech, went along with his family to live in the lands of Moab due to the hunger. His wife was called Naomi, and their two children, Mahlon and Kilian, who went along with them. When they arrived in the land of Moab, they decided to stay and live there. After a while, Elimelech died, Naomi's husband, leaving her alone with her two children. Then their children married two Moabite women. Kilian married Orpah, and Mahlon with a Moabite named Ruth. After living there for almost 10 years, Naomi's two sons also died, leaving them widowed and childless. Then Naomi heard that the Lord had helped her people when providing them food, and she decided to go back to her country with her two daughters-in-law. And together they began the journey to the land of Judah. During the journey, Naomi said to her daughters-in-law, "Daughters, you don't have to come with me. It is better that they return to their mother's houses. I'll go back to my homeland. May the Lord bless you and grant you peace with a new husband." Then she kissed them. But they, crying, exclaimed, "No, we don't want that! Take us home with you!" "Go back home, lovely daughters," Naomi kept insisting. "Why would you go with me? I just have no children anymore for them to marry and start a family. Also, I am really old to remarry. Even if I got that hope in me and had children, will you wait for him?" "No way! My bitterness is greater than yours. Leave now and go back to your home." But they talked and cried. Then Orpah said goodbye to her mother-in-law with a kiss. But Ruth stood by her side. "Look, your sister-in-law will return to her people and her gods. Go with her." But Ruth answered, "Don't beg me to leave you and to stay away from you, because wherever you go, I'll be there, and I shall live wherever you live. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. I shall die where you die, and there I will be buried. May God punish me if something other than death separates me from you." Naomi, seeing that Ruth was so determined to come with her, didn't insist any longer. Then the two women kept walking until they reached Bethlehem of Judea. When they got there, it was wheat and barley harvest season. When seeing them, everybody was mumbling things. "Isn't that Naomi?" the women of the town asked themselves. "Don't call me Naomi anymore," she answered. "Call me Mara, because I left this place full, but now my hands are empty, and my heart is filled with bitterness. So call me Mara." Mara means bitter, like the waters that the Israelites found when leaving Egypt. The waters that were bitter and bad. Do you remember?
No.
The one that couldn't be drank even when we were thirsty, right? Okay, forget it. Ruth asked Naomi to let her go to the countryside to pick up what the workers dropped from the harvest. Naomi said yes. Ruth left and began to gather ears in the countryside behind the workers. It so happened that the field where she was located belonged to a man named Boaz. who was Naomi's relative, family of her dead husband, Elimelech.
Blah, blah, blah.
Boaz was the son of Rahab. Rahab, the Canaanite of Jericho, remember? The one who helped the spies. Hey, shh! Stop interrupting! And right then, Boaz came and greeted the workers. May the Lord be with you.
Blah, 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 blah.
Whose is that young woman? He asked. It's a young Moabite who came from the land of Moab with Naomi, answered the foreman. She asked me permission to gather ears behind the workers. She hasn't stopped working since the morning. So Boaz told Ruth, My daughter, you don't have to leave. You are welcome here. Stay here with my maids. I already ordered everyone not to bother you. And if you are thirsty, you can drink water. Ruth bowed to the ground and shouted, How come you like me so much, being a foreigner? They have already told me everything you have done for your mother-in-law Naomi since your husband died, how you left your parents, and how you left your town to come here. May Jehovah reward you for what you have done. Then he invited her to eat. So she did until she was not hungry anymore, and she kept a piece for her mother-in-law Naomi. She kept working until evening. Boaz told his servants to be kind with her and let more ears fall for her to pick them up. When Ruth returned to her mother-in-law and she saw everything she had, she asked her, Where did you get all that from? Blessed be the man who noticed you! So Ruth told her everything about that man she had been working with and how kind he had been with her. May the Lord bless him, Naomi said. The Lord has not stopped showing his faithful love towards us. That man, Boaz, is our close relative. He is one of the relatives who can redeem us. It is better for you to continue with his maids, Naomi added, so that they do not take advantage of you in another field. And just like that, Ruth stayed together with the servants of Boaz to gather ears until the barley and wheat harvest season ended. While she was living with her mother-in-law, one day her mother-in-law Naomi told her, My daughter, shouldn't I find you a home so that you can live well? Boaz is our guardian redeemers. In the Israeli culture, when someone dies, its closest relative takes care of the family, and that person is called guardian redeemers. Go get him! Naomi explained to Ruth that just as Boaz was a close relative, he could become her husband, and told her, Listen to me. The barley harvest has finished, and a reunion will be held. There, Boaz will be with all his servants. You will bathe yourself, perfume yourself, and you will put on your best dress to meet him, but you will do so when Boaz goes to sleep. You will notice where he lies, and there you will lie at his feet. You will explain him everything, and you will see that he himself will tell you everything you have to do. So, she did. At night, Ruth stealthily uncovered his feet and lay there. At midnight, Boaz woke up startled. And when he realized that there was a woman lying at his feet, he asked, Who are you? It's Ruth, your servant. I wanted to know, since you are a close relative, I wanted to know if you can redeem me, marrying me. Wow! Let the Lord bless you, darling. You really are a wonderful woman. This show of loyalty on your part surpasses the previous one, since you are not looking for a young man, whether rich or poor. Don't be afraid. I will do whatever you need. But you have another relative who is closer than me. I will speak to him. If he does not redeem you, I assure you that I will. Now, lay here until it's morning. she stayed lying at his feet until dawn. And she woke up when it was still dark, so that it would not be known that there was a woman there. And Boaz gave her barley to take to her mother-in-law, Naomi. When Ruth came to her mother-in-law, Naomi asked her,
So what happened?
Ruth told her everything that Boaz had done for her, and Naomi told her, Daughter, surely that matter will be resolved today. Let's wait and see what happens. Later, Boaz, on his part, went up to the city gate and sat there. Then, the relative he had mentioned passed by. Hey, my friend, come and sit here. There's something you need to know. The man sat down. Then, Boaz called 10 of the city leaders to be witnesses. And then he spoke to the relative. You know that Naomi has returned from Moab, and that Elimelech was our relative. You are closer to them than I am. Well, I wanted to let you know that Naomi is selling some land. As you are the closest relative, you can redeem it. But if you don't want to redeem it, I will. Yes, of course. I will redeem her. This is what the family is for, he answered. Something else. If you won't do that, you also have to marry Ruth, her daughter-in-law, the Moabite. What? Moabite? Well, no, I'd rather not, because it could harm my inheritance. So, you do it. I give you that right.
Yeah.
Moab is really far, if... In those times, when a pact was made, one of them took off his sandal and gave it to the other person, as a sign that the rights were being transferred. That's how it used to be to legalize contracts in Israel.
Hey.
You are being witness to this treatment today, Boaz said. That he has transferred the rights to both Naomi's land and marrying Ruth. And Boaz took Ruth and married her. Then they had a child. Women told Naomi, Praise be to the Lord who has not left you today without a guardian redeemer. This child will renew your life and will sustain you in old age, because your daughter-in-law gave birth to him, who loves you and is better for you than 7 sons. Naomi took the child and raised him. This child was named Obed. Obed, who will be Jesse's father, and Jesse will be the father of the future king of Israel, King David.
Wow. Hey.
Subscribe and comment. Like and follow us on our social medias. Hey, we will greet our friends who have commented on our post. If you want a greeting in the next video, follow us and comment on the latest posts on our networks, Instagram and YouTube. The next greetings go to Afolabi Oluwasegun at Clinical Counseling with Silani, Hilda Flores, Joanna's from Pakistan, Soraya Soli, Amaka, Anna Martinez, Evelyn Masharena, Shalom and Michelle from Kenya, Africa, Serena and Anna Leticia from Brazil, Luke, Aurelio Peralta, Papo Yin, Joanna and Benjamin from Los Angeles, California, Liz Githe, Talitha Freeman, Dee from Jamaica, Soul Gold 12, Fernando Mendez, Ashish Tama. Thank you very much for all your great support!